Hello everyone, I am Rex Red and I am back with another EZ3DTV tutorial. Welcome people, welcome. Today we have a brand new 5090 graphics card by NVIDIA, RTX 5090 that we are going to be working with in Daz Studio. You know, when you don't have the 5090, then your mind says like, will it work? Will it really? Oh, I think it would really it must render. It must render in Daz 4.24. And your mind thinks, well, mine will render. I know my computer will render. And all of these things run through your head. Will it render? But will it still work? Will it just not even open up? What happens? Well, that's what we're going to do, is we're going to explore what works with the 5090 right now. What works, what doesn't work, what can you expect if you use a 5090 and you buy a 5090 and you start using it, and what is actually going to happen and not happen. So the first thing that I'm going to show you is we go here into Daz Studio, and this is Daz Studio 4.24. Okay, now obviously it works because the graphics card, you know, it's when I open Daz, it's here. Okay, but some things don't work. And we're going to find out what exactly works and what does not work. And okay, so when I go into now, you see we are running the 5090, and the 5090 has issues with scripts. Okay, so when I go to launch this script and I use the script and I try to put a figure into the scene with the script, amazingly enough, it works. And I'm not sure why it works, whether if it works because I currently have my computer set to also render, okay? But this script seems to work, okay? So how much it works, I'm not sure. And we go into here, we put some clothes on the figure, we put a shape on the figure, we put some skin on the figure, okay? Now, watch how quickly these things work, okay? Because some of the rendering that I've experienced here is almost instantaneous, okay? Like, if you notice, watch when the skin goes on, how quickly it blinks before it, like, Iray kicks in and it renders, okay? It's like almost instantaneous, and you have like an amazing figure. Now you see this? See, it takes like only a few iterations for it to really kind of kick in. And what I think the reason, I think I have it set right now when I go into the render settings. We go into editor, general. Okay, progressive renders, minimum samples, intervals. Okay, subscribed recently. Interesting topics on your channel, sometimes not related to Daz. Yeah, sometimes I get completely waylaid and I just, like today, yes, this is about Daz, but it's also about the new 5090 graphics card. What can you expect? If you put this 5090 graphics card in your computer and you try to use Daz Studio 4.24, what's going to happen? Okay, well, one of the big things that's just going to happen here is, okay, I stand corrected. Okay, a moment ago, the geometry sculptor was not in here. Now it is. Okay, so let's just try this and see if it works. Now, I would almost swear I'm on a different computer because a moment ago, none of these things worked. Now, it may be because I went in to the render settings here and turned on the CPU. So it may actually be doing these sculpting things and working with, it's in this computer. Plus, I do have Daz on this machine, which allows me to use things like UltraScenery. Now, the thing is, probably I can use UltraScenery here. Now, I believe what happens is if you go into your render settings and you turn off CPU, okay, let's try this. Turn off the CPU, and would you like to save changes? No. Okay. Now you see I don't have the CPU fallback turned on either, okay? So we're going to be deleting the objects. And so we come here, we give it a moment and open this up. Open up Daz Studio. All right. And you'll probably find that a bunch of things don't work. And the reason why they don't work is because they only work like, okay, now you see this? Okay, it's doing something down here. It's trying to render Iray, okay? And it can't render Iray, okay? So this finally opened here. We'll go into Genesis 9, see if we can put that in here. Okay. So it won't display Iray because I don't have my PC turned on. Okay. It will just keep cycling and cycling and cycling. Okay. But if you turn the PC on, you can render. Okay. You can render, you don't want to render the full scene. Well, you know, that would be the idea, would be to render the full scene, but, okay, so we put a shape on, and we then go and put some skin on. See, so I can still work in this with the 5090, okay? Now, also, now when I go to run the tool settings, okay? So we're in render settings. Now if we go into tool settings, okay, it's saying that geometry sculptor is here, and it would appear that geometry sculptor is working here. Yeah, he's got a boil. All right, so it would appear that geometry sculptor is working. undo works, which is strange. Sometimes undo just doesn't work with Geometry Sculptor, but sometimes it does. Now we do a couple of them here. Okay, I think they fixed that with version 4.24, but I don't believe, well, Geometry Sculptor doesn't work, and sometimes it just stops working. I'm not sure. I believe it does. But maybe it's not. It's just certain things that you can, the sculpting brush. Okay, we'll try to smoothen this out here, join this kind of to get smoothen this all out. And look how horrible that brush, oh, that's not the sculpting brush. This is the sculpting brush. I think they've fixed the sculpting brush, okay? They have fixed it. So, yeah, so this is a slightly younger version of our figure. All right, so we're doing all of this with the 5090, but okay, when we go to render, okay, and we click render, nothing happens. Okay, and if I go here to render settings, we go to the editor, general, make sure we have like this, the maximum samples, maximum time, and turn on this, and we go here. Okay, give you a little more time to render, nothing. Okay, it won't render, it will not. But if you go into the render settings and hardware and turn back on the CPU and then click render, it bounces over to the CPU and it will render. Now the issue here, okay, and look how quickly this renders. It's like, okay, this is at 2000 right here. How many iterations? We're up to 86. Okay, this isn't going to render fast because this is the PC rendering it. And when I go into, okay, we cancel this, all right, it's a PC render. Now when I go into this and I go to Iray, okay, now it will show Iray, but it's all grainy. It takes a while for the computer to render. Let's change his shape. I think since I kind of destroyed his shape, now if I put a shape on it, it's still showing the shape. Okay. Is it undoing his skin now? It could be. All right, so yeah, it is. Okay, but that's okay. Now we go back and give him back this starving shape. We'll give him this shape, and we'll give him some skin again. And so now the issue, okay, so what that means is that you can pretty much make your scene, get your clothing set, get your character in the scene, get your character posed, and put even your environment into the scene. You can do all of that. You're not going to have a very good Iray render. Here now, the issue with UltraScenery, okay, because like I can create a scene here, and all I have to do, I can create a scene with just about anything in it, do all my dForce stuff, okay, and if you notice here, okay, I can go into this Daz Studio 4.24. Let's put some kind of clothing on him and do a simulation. Okay, smart content. And where is my smart content? Okay, here we go. All products. Hello. Oh, okay, there it is. And the default, okay, so we go down into here and we go to our, where are they? Products. That would be under, okay, I'm not seeing it now. Okay, okay, I'm in smart content. Props. Where is wardrobe? Okay, something's wrong here. Okay, I think I have to click off of him and back on, because this stuff, oh, here, default. Okay, wardrobe, here it is. All right, so we go into wardrobe and we'll find some kind of dForce something or other. Now this is supposed to be really, really quick, but I'm not, it might be just because it's the first time. I'd kind of like to put this dress on him. Okay, this is the dForce. Let's do this. Accessories, materials, wardrobe. Okay, outfit for Genesis 9. Okay. Okay, we double click. Did that work? Okay, now it is. All right. Okay, this is dForce, so let's take off the shorts. And what we're going to do now is run a simulation. Now I'm going to turn off. First we're going to run the simulation. Okay, let's take the simulation and turn off the starting bones. And then let's also go to render settings and turn off our CPU. And then let's also open this up here. And let's go to performance. And let's check and see what's using what. Okay. Whether if our CPU is doing it or our GPU. Okay. All right. So right now we have, oh my gosh, I wish I could move these around. But here is the 5090 down at the bottom. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go into simulation, and simulate. Okay, it appears the dForce kernels, it keeps doing this, have not been compiled or have changed and need to be recompiled. This process can take several minutes. It doesn't take that long, but it keeps redoing this process. Okay, so stabilizing the simulation. Okay, now what we want to do is open this up and see what's happening. Now you see my CPU. Okay, now I think I have to simulate this now. All right, now look, the CPU had a spike, but look, the GPU, it was the GPU that did the simulation, okay? The CPU, well, it had a couple of little spikes there, okay, like the GPU did. But I believe it was the GPU that did the simulation there, okay? I would say one of so yeah. And then we come back here, and there's just, it's kind of a little buggy, but you have to go back out and come back in. And suddenly, oh, no, it's not buggy actually. Remember, I turned off the CPU, so it won't do Iray. Okay, it's just sitting there spinning its wheels. So, so really, most everything, including your simulation, your dForce simulations. Okay, let's go out of Iray. Then let's go back in. Okay, now this, see, now that was done with the CPU. All right, so most everything works. Okay, now we have both the, now let's turn the CPU off again. Okay, well actually let's just leave it on and see. It would seem as though, you know, it's hard to really tell, but I'm going to turn, yeah, the CPU off again, and we'll go out back to texture shaded. And then let's go to our UltraScenery, add an UltraScenery. Okay, and this would be interesting to see, okay, because this is should go into, now this is the GPU memory versus the system memory. It's 19 gigs. The CPU is turned off. And now let's add a bunch of, let's add a biome ecology. Let's go to oaks, and that will add a ton of stuff onto this UltraScenery plane. It's going to add grass patches. I'm glad to see it'll stick with my 4070 on my new laptop for now. Yeah, yeah, I thought you would all find this interesting to see how this works. Wait until I open Daz 2025, and you'll see that rendering is almost instantaneous. Okay? So, all right, now it just added a ton of stuff into the scene. It should be evident. Okay, now the memory didn't go up that much here. But the, let's see, the GPU memory doesn't look like it went up much either. Oh, okay, it's not going to pass this off. This is, I believe, going to stay in the CPU memory until you render it. And that is going to be the problem. That is the core of the problem with everything, the whole world, with all things in the world, is because the way UltraScenery 2 works is it doesn't populate the world and send it to the video RAM until you render. So you can't just set up your scene. I'm at the level of the 5090 right now, and it does kind of hamper some of the things that I can do, because as you all well know, now the thing is that yes, I could try to render the scene with my CPU. It's just not going to work, okay? Because the CPU is too slow, and all of these items in the scene are just not going to be in the scene until I click render. And that's the issue, is that the 5090 will not. So I would say, you know, and there, that I can work around just about everything here. I can get his clothes, I can get him in the pose, I can use mesh grabber on his hair, and I can use mesh grabber on his clothes, put him in his pose. I can do all these things with this Premiere, and then just load it. And I've tried it. I've tried like editing his clothes with mesh grabber and then bringing it in. The edits still stay there. Getting all my lighting set up, get everything set up, and then bring him into, and the thing is the plane will show up. Now, let me see something now. I'm wondering if I come here and if I move my Genesis 9 figure up, parameters, there, I just thought of something now. No, you see, this isn't going to work. Okay, well, let's try it. Okay, the ultra scene is in the scene. It's placed these items into the scene. Okay, let's turn them on. Let's go into UltraScenery 2. Click on UltraScenery 2. And let's go and say that let's get them into the viewport. Grass, fallen leaves, river stones, okay, and road pebbles. Okay, I don't need road pebbles. I don't even think I have. Okay, so we'll turn off the road pebbles. We'll actually delete the road pebbles, minus the road pebbles. And the river stones, we don't need those. And the river pebbles, 2, and the reeds. Since we don't have a river, we don't need the reeds. And the streamline grass, we don't have a stream, so we don't need the streamline grass. And we don't have a river, so we don't need river logs. Okay, so what we have here, and then what we do, we come here to the oak trees, and we click on our oak trees, layer settings. We go to density, we'll bring the density down so there aren't so many oak trees. How many did that do? Why it does this, it's been doing this for a while. I bet it's a C++ kind of issue. But it's just, while it's thinking, it does all kind of, goes in and out of Iray. It does weird things. Daz will fix this stuff. All right, so it looks like we have even more, but we're going to bring the density of these trees down. Okay, we have to bring our Genesis 9 figure up, but we're going to... Okay, let's close this. It might at least give us a little bit. So we're going to try to bring the grass in and bring them so that they're actually in the viewport. Okay? Maybe this might work. So we go to Genesis 9, parameters, Y translate. Where are you, guy? Okay. Okay. Let's zoom in on him. Okay, the problem is the culling. Is that the culling doesn't happen, okay, until the culling doesn't happen until you render the camera culling. Okay, we have okay, create a camera. All right, and we'll look through the camera. So, and then what we can do is come here. Oh, I think we might be able to turn on Iray. That may make the culling work. Okay, UltraScenery 2. If we come up here and click, all right, Iray preview, and culling, current camera. All right, then what we do is we come into the field one. We go field at 100%. That will put all the grass in. It will preview all the grass. Update at render. Okay, so what we're going to do is turn that off. So maybe it will update before the render. Okay. How can we get UltraScenery into Daz Studio 2025? Okay, it's computing the... Okay, now it's going to come back and all the grass will be in. and Iray preview, and we want update at render. We don't want it to update at render. The idea would be to have it update. Okay, we have to save this. Okay, it's not showing the grass, but we're going to turn off update at render. Okay, there's the grass, and we come here. Okay, so we have our grass. Browse. Let's call this ritual dance. We'll call it ritual dance. Oh, we got a X. What happened here? Browse. Browse. I think I clicked this twice. Okay, here we go. My saved items. Where's my UltraScenery? UltraScenery 2. Ritual dance. We'll call it that. And select that folder. And then, you see, I'm not seeing any culling here happening. Okay. Okay. I'm kind of despondent right now, but let's see. Okay, the first thing we have to do is save this scene. Okay, file. Hi, E. Wallace. Yeah, joking aside, congrats on getting the 5090, the latest Daz Alpha release. They finally improved the viewport lag. From what I noticed, it's doing that because you are still using a 4K monitor and can only calculate in 1080. Yeah, that makes sense. That could very well be it. That is strange. See, I don't remember it always doing that, and I've always used I've for many years been using a 4K monitor. That's strange. Okay, so file. Okay, can I come back? Can you give me back? See, I've totally overloaded this, but let's see what happens here. The thing is I believe the grass is covering the entire, it's not culling, and that's the problem. It's not culling in real time. So it's filling the entire field, which isn't good. It culls when you go into Iray, I believe. That's when it tries to cull. All right, file, save as, scene. We'll call it ritual dance. All right. There's one way to tell if it's culling, and that is to use the perspective view and zoom out on the UltraScenery. I'm wondering if, okay, culling is when your camera, you know, has this V in front of it. It's the field of vision. Okay, it's like a V. Okay, your camera isn't 360 degrees. It's only getting like maybe 180 degrees, not even that, maybe even like a 45-degree angle. Okay, so what UltraScenery does, it's very clever, is it allows you to cut out all of the instances that would be behind the camera. And so that's called culling, okay? And so you turn on the culling, and see, I definitely prefer the culling on for the grass and for, you know, leaves, anything that's on the ground. But I prefer to turn the culling off for the trees, so that my light that comes from behind the scene can create these incredible like shadows and shades from the trees that are behind the camera. Okay, so you turn the culling off for the grass because you don't need grass behind the camera, but it's always almost your scene is almost always nicer when you leave the trees on, so that they are, and I'll show you where this is, okay? When I select the oak trees, okay, and we come down here, it says ignore culling, okay? So you can decide where the culling happens. Like when I click grass here, it says backface culling. Now, backface culling is different than just culling, okay? You see how this hill, this is like there's a hill here, and the hill goes over and you can't see what's beyond the hill? Well, that's backface culling, where if there's a hill and the camera can't see that, it will cut all the instances of grass out from there as well. That is called backface culling. Okay, it's actually still in front of you, but it's the backface where the camera can't see that area. Why have 50 million pieces of grass there? Okay, so you always want to leave back. I would assume you would always want backface culling on for the grass and leaves and anything else that's on the ground, rocks, pebbles, anything like that. So, okay, a preview layer, render layer, okay, layers. So this is in the preview layer and the render layer, okay? And we have this oak trees there. Those would be in the preview and render layer. Now, we don't want backface culling on with the trees because they're kind of tall. Yes, it helps. See, that's why UltraScenery 2 is so much better than UltraScenery 1, because you have these cullings and you have the masking is a little more easier to do. So you can, like, I can put a disc here and say, I don't want these grass growing here, okay, or these tall sprigs of grass, and because I can mask out different things. Like obviously these leaves, there's a mask where it's the leaves are only attracted to the mask that's here and here, okay? So then they're not in here because the leaves don't fall out here because there's no trees here. The leaves fall there because the trees are there. There's just so much awesome stuff in UltraScenery 2, okay? So now the test, this is enough of a test. Okay, but what I want to do now is select my, okay, we're going to save this. This has got to be a question that I need to ask in the forums, because it may be something that is a setting in the NVIDIA graphics card, and that if I go in, then it will allow it will allow computation in 4K, in the 4K mode or something. Okay, so that's been a problem. It's not always been a problem with Daz, but it's been a problem for the last 6 or so months, and that's kind of coincides with when I went in and messed with some of the settings in my NVIDIA in the NVIDIA app. Like dots per inch. Yeah, it could be. It could be all of that. It could be just optimized, where the optimization isn't turned on. And I went in and I think I set everything back to default because I was having an issue. And so I went into the NVIDIA and I had it all optimized. There's a video online that optimizes, that shows you how to optimize Daz Studio with your NVIDIA card. And that's probably what happened here. Okay, so this has been saved, so I'm going to, now that the grass is actually on the ground, let's see what happens when we bring this, let's close this down. When we bring this, okay, this is called Ritual Dance. Let's just let it clear out the RAM before I open 2025. Set to scaling. Yeah, see, I'm not sure what I've done. Come on, delete the objects. Let's get this show on the road here. That was called Ritual Dance. Okay. All right, it should close now that it's done emptying. The scale, you set the scaling to 4K. Huh. Where is the scaling setting? I mean, it's happening in both Daz versions. So whatever it is, it might be like a global setting. Are you going to close or just sit there, Daz? This is kind of expected when it's not using the memory. It's not using the graphics card. It's using the PC. And so it's trying to empty, I believe this is emptying the items out of the CPU RAM. So it's taking a good long time. Let's open this up. Okay, what's going on here? It's still, I think, emptying because I see another window here, and I think that's the emptying window. I could do it's saved, the project saved, so I could do close window, close the window. All right. It is responding, it's just Now we go File, Open Recent, Open, no. Now this is called Ritual Dance. Is it going to bring UltraScenery? I don't think it is. I don't think, maybe just the land. I don't think it's going to bring the items in. But there were actually in the scene. So we shall see. It would be interesting if all of a sudden we had land with grass. The thing is there are. It looks like it looks like it has 3D light, but it's not. I believe it's actually I think it's more advanced than Iray. I've never seen things as advanced. It looks like it has like 3D light elements in it, but then it's not. It's Iray. Let's go to is Ultra. Yes, supports in it for atmosphere creation, which helps achieve faster, more. It's a powerful 3D environment creation tool designed for Daz, allowing artists to craft. Yes, it supports Iray, but it's a very advanced Iray. See, it's doing the same thing here, and I think it has to do with the NVIDIA control panel. Let's open this. And we go into program settings. And a program. Okay, Daz Studio. Global settings is off. Okay. Background CUDA GPU all. Maximum frame rate will go on. I don't know that should be messed with, okay, because we're not really messing with frames, right? G-Sync compatible. Let's go with that. OpenGL auto. Okay, those are auto. We'll just say on. On, auto. Triple buffering will go on. Vertical syncs, okay, use. Now, this is Daz Studio, but then we have we also have the Daz Studio 2025. So we go add here. Browse. And what would we go? Daz Studio 6. We go here to this one. Open. Okay. It would appear that was the one I was using. I'm not sure. These are just called Daz Studio.exe, so it's kind of weird that they didn't give them different names than Daz Studio.exe. Triple buffering, use 3D app settings. Auto. The scaling setting. Turn that on. Okay. All right, let's apply that. Let's see what loaded up in our... So it's still thinking. It may be because I've been trying to do all those things in the background to it, but it's still loading. So, yeah, this isn't going to work. Close the program. So now what I'm going to do now is give you an idea of how quick the alpha version is. Okay, when I put a figure into the scene, so we go to favorites, okay, Genesis 9, and you can see how quickly the Genesis 9 figure loads. That was after all that kind of crazy stuff I was just doing. All right, it loads quite quickly. We go into my shapes, and let's use my Nico figure shape, and we'll get some clothes for him. Default wardrobe. Just get some kind of pants for him. Da 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 da. Who are these for? Just says character. Those are like poser pants. One of these is 9. Okay, we'll use these shorts. Okay, and then we're going to find a skin, which would be in our figures. See, I don't have all my handy thingies. Milo. Cancel. Okay, I'm in products. Mateo. Go to materials. And watch how quickly these materials go on the figure. And watch, it'll blink and come right in. And when I hit render here. Let's see, we're at 2000, hit render. It's almost instantaneous. See, look, he's rendered. Do you see that? How instantaneous that is? Okay, so this is a reason to have the 5090, okay? It's just as soon as you bring... Now let's put some kind of... Let's put him in some kind of environment. Subway passage. Merge into the scene. Okay, let's get rid of the cameras. Subway passage. Let's pull this one way or another. Now, you said that Daz fixed the viewport. Somebody said that Daz fixed the viewport. I'm not sure that it's that fixed. I think they still have work to do on the viewport, but it's not that bad. Now you notice when I spin it around, it does now move. Before it was like spinning and then it would paint. So now we have a volume in here. I think it might be a VDB or something. So this is in a pretty amazing scene here. A very realistic looking environment. Okay, how about... Okay, and we find a pose for him. Genesis 9. Here. Poses. Where's my poses? Figures. Poses. Standing. Is it going to get small again? Standing. Okay. Okay, see, like my brain just goes to my scripts that I don't have because I wanted to use a cutaway script and cut the back here off. I can't because the cutaway cutaway is gone. My scripts don't work. All right, so let's put a light in the scene. I think there are lights in the scene, but we'll create a spotlight. And look through the spotlight. Now, this is a different rendering engine, people. Okay, this has different lighting capabilities. It's optimized. Okay. Now, I'm not sure that I like the way this looks. Okay, but okay, that looks about normal, like the way that is. Okay, so then we come here to our parameters. See, this isn't rendered. Something's up with it, so there's problems here. It should come up now. No, okay, so we go out of Iray. Then we go back in. And there should suddenly be a textures. Maybe it's something I just did with these anti-aliasing stuff now. Let's go back to this. Let's set that back to the default. Restore. Okay, apply. Okay, we can close that. Now let's go back to our only works on cameras. I would say I'm doing too many things with this. Because no, I believe it does work with this, but okay. Let's create a, okay, go back to our perspective view. Let's create a camera, new camera. And now our spotlight is in here. Let's give the spotlight some, okay, this could be, because this is render settings, it could be set. No, the environment. When are we looking? Environment. Okay, parameters. Yeah, okay, dome only. Okay, scene only. Dome and scene. There we go. That's why, because it was on dome only. Okay, so now we go back and we should be able to look through our spotlight. Well, that's not working. But okay, at least it's the spotlight's working now. So we go back to the camera and we take our spotlight. We go here to 2. We go to go to 1. We'll make this a 9. Okay. And we'll warm it up a little bit. Okay, let's take our Genesis 9 figure and push him back. Okay. Dustin Jones. Save, accept. See how it jumps through the different, when you're saving it, it jumps through the different rendering. Yeah, so I'm not disagreeing with the way it does things, okay, because I don't know, there could be a good reason for it to jump through those different rendering modes. So I just don't know. So we go here to hair, beard. And we go to hair. Okay, let's go. Now that we have, I think that hair looks, it's not working. You know, it's, sometimes it needs to seat itself, but it's not that. So now we go here to this, that doesn't work. It's not just that it's blonde, but it's, I think he needs kind of some kind of, I don't know, maybe the, where's that Julius hair? Let's try this. I don't think it'll work. His head's kind of shaped weird, but that's not bad. How about this ponytail hair? Kind of works, but it's not, doesn't really, it doesn't bump him up. It kind of just keeps him at a certain level. Where's the Julius hair? This one might work. Which one is this for? Genesis 9. Okay, this is the Genesis 9. Okay, that bumps him up a little bit. See, you gotta keep trying things until it works. Okay. And so we got to get him some jeans because those shorts just aren't, they don't look right. All right, and so when you see this Iray come in, this is actually, we go into render settings, hardware. Okay, we're going to turn off the CPU. Okay, so we're only seeing, and we don't have allow the fallback. All right, so now we go back into smart content, jeans. Up here, we could just, okay, those are materials. Let's go into the actual wardrobe. Okay, smart style jeans. These are for who? For whom? 9. Okay, we go here. Okay, so we take the Z. I think we'll go with these street style jeans. I think those were like folded up at the bottom. And, you know, some men fold up their jeans, but most men don't. All right, we'll see how auto fit works here. Okay, this is Genesis 8 male. Okay, that was pretty quick. That was like very snappy. Okay, we can get rid of the 3-in-1 shorts. And let's get him a top here. This works, the t-shirt. This is where the problem comes in. Genesis 3 male. Because we don't have any mesh tools. Okay, but look at that. That actually works. Okay, save this shoes. Shoes. You know, like men, you know, wear kind of loafer shoes. They have like this, you know, there aren't that many shoes that men, you know, frequent. They, you know, they wear a lot of a lot of men wear sneakers, but they wear like the Timberlake kind of boots, or they wear, you know, the penny loafer kind of shoes similar to that style. It's just these. They look like they're boots actually, but these are pretty nice. Auto fit. What are those for Genesis 8? Okay. And he's Genesis 9. All right, let's do a render and see how quickly this renders with the room, all the clothing, the hair. It's going to tell you it's pretty much instantaneous. It's just like there's this one render, okay, and then it jumps like 1,000 iterations. Oh, no, it's okay, it's going to jump, and it's going to, when it does its first jump, it's going to be like a lot. Probably it will be like finished. Okay, oh, what did I do? I just opened up the other Daz. Okay, you can go away. All right, here. Okay, we're up to 1,000 already. Okay, he's his eyes, he needs to blink a little bit. Okay, he didn't end up with an expression. Okay. Well, we gave him his feet are going into the ground. All right, so, but this isn't too bad. All right, so I can work with this. First thing we do are the eyes, parameters, blink. Yeah, you wouldn't think that it's just as simple as kind of closing his eyes a little bit. Okay. Yeah, oh, Chris, welcome, all you groovy cats in chat. Angus, hello, dear friend, welcome, welcome. Welcome, people. Yeah, we are working with a 5090 today. I got it hooked up and set. And if you noticed, I used the marshmallows. Okay, I think he looks a little bit kind of, I don't know that this works. The blink is a little too much. I'm going to have to go down and take some of the blink off. This is just, notice how grainy it is. There is, I think, an issue with Daz's render or the way it's working with Iray products. So I just, you know, it's this. I feel like you have to render and render and render until it works. So okay, so we're already up to 1,000 iterations, and it should look better than that. Okay, I'm going to cut this blink in half. Okay. I hope you are all having a nice night. Now, I may actually give you guys, I might do, play a game, a video game. All right, now his eyes look more believable, okay? See, they don't have that kind of like stare look that as much. And he seems, I love the way that shirt looks. Believe it or not, that, you know, this is products made this wasn't even for Genesis 8, I don't believe. It was Genesis 3. You know, it just seems as though there were still a few people out there. Yeah, see, never enough guitars. That's what is. I have been running out of RAM because my scenes that I make are just sometimes, quite often, they're just a little bit bigger than what will fit in 24 gigs. So another 8 gigs. I was with 24. What is 32? Yeah, another 8 gigs is probably that sweet spot where I'm not generally going to run out of. Yeah. So I can totally agree with you on that. Look at this. So now he still looks a little bit kind of weird. I think maybe the expression, maybe what we do is we just close his eyes. Okay, and then he's kind of like looking like that bashful moment or something. Let's see if we can get that. All right, we got to bring his head down then. Okay, parameters, bend. And let's twist it a little bit. Okay, let's get him. All right, and head. Twist it a little bit this way. All right, save this. Okay. I use Iray server and sometimes they fail when the scene is only 22 gigs. Yeah, I'm not sure what Iray server is, but I do know that that 24 gigs, do you notice any improvements? Yes, I absolutely do. There's just like a massive amount of throughput back and forth between the viewport and the card. So I think that's a lot better right there. That's pretty nice. Yeah, so no, so, okay, I've got to lift him up out of the ground. Would you like to? Yes. Let's go here. Control L. Okay, what's happening here? Perspective. Okay, we got it. Okay, back. Let's go into, does filament work? We got to wait until it paints the... Well, it does, and I wonder if we can put those filament elements into the scene. See, this is really smooth, and it's got, and that's with hair and all. Let's take this shoe here and bend it a little bit down. Okay, and we'll bring him up a little bit more. Okay, back to the camera. Let's put that filament things, create new filament. What's a filament node or filament? Here's filament draw option mode, accept. And then we go here, parameters, okay, and we can go with the, what is it, the ISO. There we go. That is amazing. That looks pretty good. And that was very smooth too. Go back to Iray. Yeah, see, I think there's some kind of atmosphere. They're using some kind of atmosphere in here. So let's look at this. Fence, tactile, spotlight. Okay, that's mine. CZD base, subway. fence, floor. Okay, what I'm going to do is find some of these objects. Okay, this right here. Where's our guy? The heck? Okay, our outside light, outside world is kind of bright. Environment options. So let's take this down to, see, those are not readable. To 1, to 0.5. There we go. Okay, so we take this little light here. See, notice how it didn't come with. See, when I move it, see, it's supposed to have fixed the view, but they haven't fixed it completely. It still kind of does weird stuff like that. But see how quickly it zooms like that? That's pretty fast. Where's my guy? All right, I have to find out where he is first. Genesis 9. Okay, he's... Wow, this thing is a long ass... Excuse my vulgarity here. Okay, so I see. There's this... he's right about in the center of this... Okay, so where's the light again? Where's the electric panel? There's the electric panel. Okay, let's zoom back out again. Let's move these things. Okay, that's about in the center here. Where's my guy? Okay, so he's... And then let's see, emergency light is where? Okay, we're going to move the emergency light. Okay, and we're going to move that up a little bit more. See, it doesn't gradually move up. So there's still an issue with the... You know, it's still something about the parallel processing, and it's not processing in parallel. It's processing things serially, and I think that's the problem. We got to get some parallel processing here. Okay, this. Okay, where is this? Why is that like that? We go here to, what is it, this? Which one is it? Tools, joint editor. This is a weird thing. No, we'll be back to joint editor. Tools. How do we turn it? Oh, why rotate? $80. No, see, that's turning. The door, not the darned. How do I rotate the when I turn it, it's rotating the door, the panel. Rotate. See, and that changes the door. Okay, is that in tool settings? See, it's not moving the door when I do this. Okay, parameters. I thought there was a joint editor panel. No. I think it's here. Oh, okay, that. Okay, that's not working. See, and this is why this is rotating so messed up. Why do people leave things like so horrible? How did they even place this in the scene with those joints in such terrible places? Okay, it looks like it's down at the bottom now, maybe. Joint editor, tools. Okay. Oh, isn't there another rotate? No. Okay, it's this. Okay, well, this panel is being a pain. There was a way to just rotate it and physically rotate it, and I'm not sure how to do that now. Up. See, this panel has the same thing. See, that brings it into the center. So when you come here, okay, so it's not that one I need to move. It's the bottom one. Edit. I always get confused. Let's see, tools, joint editor. It's this one. Put that in the center. Okay, now when we come here, that's our center. Okay, but it like moved the panel. Panel. Okay. Let's pull it the heck out from here. Okay. We get here. We go back. Edit. See, it's moving. It's not supposed to move. Endpoint. Okay. See, I used to know how to turn these things. Select children and parent. Selected only. Okay, so now kind of makes sense with this one here. What happened to it? Okay. Maybe when we move this, see, it selected the whole thing. All right, I've spent too much time on this. I'd love to use this panel, but it's just, I can't figure out how to move. So when I move that, when I move it in, the panel goes in. It's like they're not supposed to move in like that. Promote selection. Okay, there. Center endpoint. Visible bones. All right, so the only way to do this, now it's way out here. Okay, join editor, edit. See, okay. Tools, joint editor. This. See, when I move that, it was moving this. Oh, maybe, okay. Maybe I moved the middle one. Okay, how do I without the object 2 Okay, manual, okay. Oh, X position. That's which. Do I? How do I select the green gizmo? Okay, let's go to wireframe view. Okay, me. Need to move it. But the green gizmo, it looks like that just auto-saved the project, but the green gizmo, in the tool settings panel. This is probably Jay, and I can't watch one of his videos. Wouldn't be fair to have it like embedded within my channel, within my video. Okay, I think if I grab this the center of it, like this. Okay. Well, this isn't working. So, it doesn't seem to be like telling me I have this one selected. Okay, center endpoint. It's not picking different, like when I select this. Okay, what if we just go back to 0? Okay, and then we go back to where this was. Okay. All right. All right, that Z. And it doesn't. Okay, this green gizmo. We go back to join editor. So we put them all to 0. How do I green? Okay, it says oh. So these are kind of hard. Okay, that's Y, rotate. Doesn't seem to be rotating. 0. Z. I think it's because I've changed these things. Okay, now okay, this is when I pulled it up. Z, okay. Okay, that. This looks like it's actually should rotate correctly now. And move correctly. No. Now you see this? It's not correct. It's not. See, the bottom one is connected. See? It's not. It's not letting me select. Try wireframe view. It's active pose, joint editor. No. Now it's, that's weird. Now it's letting me move this one without Z. Okay, endpoint. Okay, I'm seeing something here. Endpoint. This is the endpoint. Okay, that is the origin. Okay. This is the endpoint. Zero. Okay, so this is the origin. That's the endpoint. So we select the origin. Okay. Okay, so this Z, this is the origin, the endpoint. So how do I know? How do I rotate? Activate, ensure you're using a red gizmo endpoint. Look, use the tool settings panel. Open the tool settings and look for okay, so okay, Y, okay. Okay, I'm seeing, that's it. Okay, Z. Okay, go back to 0. This is strange. Z. Z. Okay. Z. Z. They all seem to... Okay, let's go this way. The Y rotation does not seem to have any effect. Orientation. Center endpoint. Okay, I wonder if this just doesn't work in here. What's this thing called? This is called subway passageway. Okay. Get rid of the cameras. Okay, we're looking here. Electrical panel. All right. I bet something's wrong with this joint editor. Create tools. Joint editor. So We move this down like that. Okay, see both of these. Okay, then we go into the joint editor, tools. Okay, that's where we are, joint editor panel, which is tools, okay. Oh, center endpoint. Okay, we lost them. Oh, okay. Rotation order. Edit. Okay, I'm going to have to watch a video on this and watch Jay. So, on this, because it's not doing the okay. Okay, that's the bottom one there here. Go back to the joint editor. We have to move the green one up. Okay, and the green one, neither of these are aligned right. Now there's no joint editor. This is it. Okay, so this, what's strange is this is doing it from end to end. This couldn't be any more difficult. I thought there was a way to just rotate these the way you want them. I've done this before. I've never had this much trouble here with this. Look at these. These are just completely like unintuitive. All right. So when I come back here now my joint is in the right place. So it's the red one that's got to be moved. Okay. Yeah, that's for the one we've done. Okay, when we move the green one up though, see, and now it's not moving. Okay, so, oh, look at that. Now it is moving. X, Y, Z. Y. Oh, okay. See, these all seem to be the same. Motion here. Okay. All right. Well, what we're going to do is I will study this more, and the next time I come back, we will be talking about the joint editor. So the whole point is this is when I rotate this, okay, this object, like here, the way it's moving in diagonals, okay? And what I should, when I pull this, it should move ahead, back, or side to side. And when I rotate it, okay, which it seems as though this is kind of correct, at least it's rotating at least this way. Okay. That's the correct kind of rotation. But if you notice, the other perspectives are off because one should rotate. This blue one should be coming out of the center, like, and the other one should, the red one should be going side to side. And even though this one is correct, where it's not at least at a weird angle, that the green one is correct, where it's rotating it like that. Okay, now maybe, yeah, so, and the way you fix that, okay, so that they go like this, is to go into the joint editor, edit, tools, joint editor, and you see this, I think it's the red, I always get them wrong, but you rotate them. Oh, look at this. See, I selected the green one, but the red one's moving. Okay. So, all right. Well, that's going to do it for me today. I just can't figure this out right now without doing some heavy studying. And this is something I have to use. This is something I use all the time to get this, like, so it's in the center so I can move it and place it exactly where I want it. Yes, I could do this by just moving it around and around and around until, you know, moving it a little bit here and a little bit that way and rotating it on these weird arbitrary angles until I get it right. But I just, in practice, like to put those in the right place. Now, you see, it's, look at this, it's almost right now. It's almost right. So something I did almost fixed it. Object, okay. Tools, joint editor. Rotation. Not that one. See, now it's actually moving the object again. Okay, I give up. I just totally give up. So, yeah, I can't figure it out. So, all right, thank you for watching, people. We're not going to be making a scene today because today was just basically trying to figure out where all the cards are falling, where with this graphics, with this new graphics card. I'm still very glad that I bought this. This is how we learn. I have the potential to render things very quickly, possibly even work with some animations, do some very quick rendering in the future. Once things are optimized, we did kind of make a scene. So I wanted to put maybe one of that red light, you know, there up in the corner, and maybe the panel on the other side of him, just to add something to the scene. But it's not working right now, and I have to figure out why. So, all right, thank you for watching. Take care. Here's our splash screen. I will be back right after this. And I am back. So, all right, this is it. I thank you for watching. I'm really pleased with the way this 4090 is doing my streaming now. And I will see you again in the next EZ3DTV tutorial. Have fun rendering, people. Righty. Okay, bye-bye for now. Thanks, never enough. We've had Chris Cox here, Angus in here. We've also had, let's see, E. Wallace. We've had Software Tools, Brent Polk, and the Dillick, and Serenity's Gate, and I assume possibly Serenity's Gate is probably still around. Thank you very much. Have a lovely rest of your day. I will see you again soon.